By the way, I'm a black character for some reason. I keep forgetting to change it.
So you've been randomized, have you?
Yeah, I've been randomized and I keep forgetting to change it.
That doesn't bother me too much until they get the female characters because I think they make too much noise. But
Yeah,
they've toned it
that's
down a little bit. But
that's strange, isn't it? Maybe it's just we're just too used to the male breeding
mm,
that we just feel like the female breeding is like too obvious or something.
well, I think there was no doubt that it was at one point ridiculously loud. It was almost like someone was playing a practical joke and like
Oh yeah.
making the women really noisy. But I think they've leveled it out a bit now.
Hmm. I don't know. I haven't played the female character in a long while. I usually actually kill myself if I get it. It's like- it sounds really
you,
wrong.
you advocate this. I must survive. I won't kill myself, and then turns into a woman, tops
Dies.
herself, tops himself.
Okay, next subject. Um, so, do you remember what happened last time? It's so long ago. Did we
Mm.
survive? You know,
Ah, of course, we're born survivors. Were you a female character?
I, I, I wasn't. I was a male character.
You're gonna have to fill me in, Renee. It's been a long, long time. 2, 3 months.
Yeah, no, 2.5 maybe, I think. But yeah, so I did remember solely because I read the previous notes just before doing this one, and it actually pointed me towards Gorka, where we were looting, and you found a barrel, and we found some cows, and we shot some cows, and we decided to move down to Polana to go
Oh,
and
to
cook
hide the
the
barrel.
yeah, and to cook the
Uh,
food.
yeah, you're right. Because you said to me that because obviously we do it. We're professionals. We do a little bit of a talk before we go live, and Rennie had said to me, "Oh, you'll remember." And I just thought at the time, I thought, I don't remember, and I'm sure I'm not going to remember. But that, yeah, I some bastard shot me,
Yeah, he
didn't he?
shot at you when you put the barrel down, didn't you?
I was hiding the barrel, and he shot at me. Scared the absolute gibblers off me. It really did, because it was just a. I mean, 3,000 hours in the game, and I must have been in that set of trees probably 10 times. That's
Hmm.
that's how rare these trees are. You just don't go there, and I literally was just placing the barrel, and a bullet hit the side of the tree I was placing it in. So I,
Yeah.
I, I of course calmly said to you that I was being shot at, and or screamed or did something,
Yeah. Pretty sure you screamed a little bit.
and then
Um.
ran off.
Yeah, ran off. You actually ran away from me because I think the guy must have seen you while you were crossing the valley, because we were running from Gorka to Polana, and Polana's in the valley, and you ran to the south side, right?
I don't know the north, east, south, and west of that particular bit, but I know I was in a bunch of
The
trees,
barn
and
side.
yeah, no, I was further down the hillside, and he shot me from way up on the top. So I just carried on.
Hmm.
I just carried on running down the hill, trying to get some distance. But he proved to be a good shooter, didn't he?
Yeah, because he managed to kill you, and I wanted to take revenge, and I I heard exactly where the shot was coming from, so I was looking there, and I was across the valley from him, and I just got one-shotted, and I was dead. So it was a sad end, and we didn't really got to fight back this
So
time.
so that was a long way of answering a question, which was, did we survive? No,
We fully expected to survive, but we didn't survive.
no.
That's DayZ. That is in the weirdest moments.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we go to the comment section. We got a few comments from Marine Soldier 8 in Roman letters. And he said one of the complaints about CLE is the lack of genes from where you spawn on the coast. And they get ruined. What do you do about fashion in a case like that? When you can never have particular bands of your look. Same goes for several types of things that no longer spawn or are so rare you can hardly find them. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
I kind of have to agree, you know. I would happily wear a pair of black jeans that I spawn within with the character till I'm no longer breathing, and
Mm.
it's really tricky. I mean, unless you're prepared to go back to the coast and extract a pair of jeans off someone, then yeah, you're not. I mean, some people, I suppose there are. So there are people. If you go to a military location, perhaps more
Mm.
one of the inland ones, one of the checkpoints, you will likely pick up a pair of jeans from there because someone's switched them out. But in fact, having said that, the trousers don't spawn that often there. So yeah, it is difficult. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Should have the jeans, all the types of jeans, because people have their preferences. They should have all the types of jeans in the loot economy. What do you think?
Yeah, no. Obviously, I agree. It's there's a couple of odd things about the CLE that doesn't make sense, and that's the central loot economy. So, for example, like when you go to Beloda, there's like 3 guns in every house. So that's too much, right? Doesn't make sense. There's odd things
Yeah,
about
the same as Beraziki as well.
yeah, and it's just it doesn't really make sense. But I guess they're not really changing anything at the moment because they're working on improving the central loot economy to cater it for everyone's needs, I guess. But yeah, of course, it makes sense. I would like the brown hunter pants to spawn every time I go to a deer stand, for just for me, so I can find it.
Yeah, come on, that's this guy's asking a question for the good of everyone. You're just wanting your bloody hunter pants to spawn.
Of course, it's way too rare.
Yeah, but that makes you see the beauty of that is it makes finding them so much better. If they were everywhere, everyone would be wearing them. You'd get them all the time. It wouldn't be special. I think how it is now is just perfect.
Hmm. I have to agree with you. No, it's fine, and I think some things should be common and some things shouldn't be common. We will get our hands on it in the end.
It's a case of priorities, though, I suppose. Shall we fix this car and stop it lagging, or shall we put jeans in the central loot economy? You've got to you've got to make your decisions.
That's true. So last time we asked the viewers a question because we said like 0.62 just came out, the new trees were in, and we've actually found that it was pretty hard to actually hide the barrels and the tents in the bushes because they would kind of pop out again and that kind of stuff. Well, that popping out kind of thing, that hidden like circle around the trees was, I think, like immediately patched when we released the Altarcast. But I'm sure it was because of Altarcast, not because everyone else
Yeah,
complaining. Yeah, it's just
absolutely.
natural. But that made it a little bit easier. But we actually had a response on that. Someone said like, I'm still using the same trees. Sorry, the guy that is responding is called Tusticles.
Pardon?
Tusticles. You just wanted me to say that again.
Okay. I was reading it and I thought, how's he going to come up with this? I want to hear this. But yeah, okay, you managed it, Kay.
Okay. Guess what I found, by the way?
What? Car?
No, I found the brown hunter pants.
Oh well, they're just everywhere. Too common.
I guess so. But yeah, Testicles is saying, I still use some trees for barrel placement, the same trees. I've been cleverly placing them in hard to get spots in rocky areas. Also, for trees, if you stand up with your back against a tree, trunk and then drop it, your barrel will drop behind you. So it will be hidden like completely in the tree. I don't think it goes into the tree itself, but it will definitely hide very deep in the tree. He also says,
is that your addition, or
no, that's my addition.
Right.
It's not like it's glitching in, I believe, but yeah, because if that's the case, that shouldn't be promoted. That's why I decided to add this. But he's also saying, I love the podcast and YouTube channels. Keep the podcast going. I listen while I play the game. Well, I hope you're safe while playing the game right now, sir. And thank you for your response to it.
Are we picking up on that? Is that just a statement? Because I didn't come in on that, did I? You see, I was going to say that.
Oh, sorry. I just responded to that myself.
You did. It's like it's a one-man show here. Come on, give the other guy a go. It's like you've wrote this all out and you're just reading it off a bloody script. I've got to make these. I've got to make these answers up. My little bit isn't in there. It's got to come out of my head. This bit has. So, what I do is I put them in the little ginger bushes. I found 2 silver tickets in my time playing, just now in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, the thicker of the orange ginger coloured bushes. Mm-hmm. If you can get 2 or 3 of those together, and the tactic that you say, face forward away from. I don't know why I'm doing this now, but I am. Face away from the bush and then drop the barrel down. It just goes into the bush behind you, and that's the tactic we're using for the base bandit. And currently we've probably got 6 barrels that have been untouched.
Nice.
So it's working. And I just don't even bother with the pine trees, just because lower down they're so open.
Yeah, I do still place them in the pine trees, I guess. But lately I've been just bringing them to the village, so I'm not really hiding them. We'll talk about that later. So with all the talk about 0.63 and the things they've shown us, I was just wondering, like, are you still enjoying DayZ as it is now?
Current 0.62. I mean, DayZ itself hasn't changed, and the people within it and the experience, and that'll always keep me coming back. In fact, I need to just switch out because we've gone down a page already. We're on page 2. Yeah, I am still enjoying it. I mean, I had my first stream wobble the other day.
Stream wobble? What is a stream wobble?
Well, I think it's something that happens to people that stream regularly. Oh shit, was it on me? Stream regularly. It's just a stream where I wasn't feeling it. DayZ was being an absolute bitch, and I came across a hacker. Viewing figures were down because I was just not talking and interacting with the chat. And sadly, it was when I was playing with 2 of the mods. It was playing with Unit Lost and Molly, and it's unfortunate it happened on a night when I was playing with those. But yeah, after I finished playing, I was like, I could quite happily not play DayZ now for the rest of the month. I could happily not stream for another month. That was I just didn't enjoy it, and that was pretty much the first time I've ever had that experience. And I should think people that stream regularly are nodding their heads and saying, yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from with this, because ultimately, if you're having to stick to a schedule, you kind of have to make the show work, whether or not you're enjoying it or not. And I just didn't. I just like, well, I'm not in a good mood. Fuck everyone else. And it wasn't fair. It was completely not fair. But yeah, I mean, that was Sunday, and by Tuesday I was like, oh, I want to stream again. So, and I want to play DayZ again. So yeah, I mean, we do need some new content, but I still love playing the game now. And yeah, I'm playing 0.62. Nothing new has happened in 0.62 for me, so it is a case of just trying to make the best of what we've got currently.
Yeah, of course.
You see, the thing is, we've got an elephant in the room here, and we've got a subject that we're going to cover, and René's tucked it right at the arse end of the cast for some reason. I don't know why. But we're going to keep referring to it, and then we're going to say, well, we can't talk about that. We must talk about it later. It's like, well, I don't know why we did this, but
Got to stick
So
to the script.
we're going to stick to the script, but we still have to, because this question's here, and I'm going to say to you, well, how's 0.62 for you? You can't turn around and say to me, well, yeah, it's marvelous. I'm loving 0.62 without going into some depth. Oh, you've now got to tell me why you like enjoying 0.62, but don't go into too much detail. I don't want to hear all about it just yet. It's the village, the village.
The village. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, for me, since I'm actually going to jump 2 times in the future, but since I had my hand shortly on 0.63, I've managed to actually play it for a little bit.
Oh,
Are you okay?
I just opened the door and Dean Hall was there. That really did scare me.
Well, he is a scary guy.
He is in that state.
I guess so. Yeah, but so since I got my hands on 0.63, I was like, am I still gonna like 0.62 after that? And
That's interesting. That is because, sorry to interject, but this is something that was covered by Eugen in the status report. I know we're going up to the status report, but because you're going into 0.63 and you're going to talk about the village soon, then I think we should just chuck the script out the window. But anyway,
Maybe.
he did talk about the fact that once the experimental servers come out, there will be that they're going to have to basically put almost as many 0.63 experimental servers out as there are 6.2, because no one is going to want to go back and play 0.62. So that kind of underlines what you're saying there with regards to it. But you play 0.63 and you did come back. So explain.
So I did. I went to Gamescom. I played 0.63. I came back. No, I went on vacation afterwards. I came back, and I think like the break I had in between kind of helped me out, because after the break I started playing in the village, which we will cover later on. But that completely like changed my experience and goal of how I normally play DayZ, which is run around from village to village and scavenging, because we had to build a village, and so I had completely a goal on my mind, and that kept me just entertained, and I really like it. But I also know I'm really going to love 0.63, but I'm just really enjoying 0.62 at the moment. And
what was that you're talking about? The village, was it?
And the village, yes. And the village is carrying me through it. We'll go more in depth about that later.
Oh dear. Anyway, with crashes, it says there. What's that all about?
Yeah, they
the hotfix for the crashes.
Yes. So I queued in the server the other day, and it was I had a queue of 34, and I was
which server was that, René?
It was in the village server.
Okay.
So and it actually it really showed me how how good they fixed the crashes, because it took me like 1.5 hours to actually get into the server, which was crazy.
Oh, I thought I misunderstood. I thought the crashes the crash fix that they did was the crash fix to stop people crashing servers.
Well, maybe that too, but
I'm still getting inventory crashes. I'm still getting those. They're not definitely not fixed. So
yeah, but as often.
I haven't noticed any difference. I think you may have misunderstood what the hotfix was for.
Well, I know that was what the hotfix was for, but I also have the feeling like that the queue is just going slow. Maybe it's just a feeling of mine, but that's
maybe they're all just stood still, not doing anything on the village.
Maybe. Yeah.
Anyway, that's that covered. That now we're on to Gamescom properly. We touched on this, and now we're into it, full on balls deep. Go on, you went, didn't you?
Yes. I did go to Gamescom only on Friday because I had to work. So I arrived there in the afternoon, and my sole goal was to meet some of the developers that were there, and to actually get my hands on 0.63, which was awesome. So I got in my car, drove over there, and I parked my car.
Bendicock tree. Sorry.
I parked my car, and
Come on, get this story out. We don't need to know about you driving your car. Did you get some petrol for your car? Did your wheel fall off? Come on. Are you at Gamescom yet?
That happened a little later, actually. My wheel fell
What?
off.
Oh, you told me about that. I don't want to hear about it again. Neither do the good people at home. They want to know about Gamescom. So you got to Gamescom.
Yes.
You got your little shiny little pass thing, and you walked in as a press person, and and you went and did you meet anyone? I want to know.
Well, I met Eugen, Buddy. I met Peter. I met Martin, and I met some of the other guys, but they were mostly standing at the booth itself. Damn it! I'm bleeding. I'm hungry. I don't have bandages, and I'm talking about Gamescom. I went to the booth, and it was pretty awesome, actually. It was that they had a lot of computers, and they had some sort of like arena going on. So there was like a line, like always, and at some point they said like, "Okay, you're in." So you could enter the booth, and they actually counted people, and you could go behind a standing desk, and you could actually play the 0.63 against all the other people that were there. And that was pretty tense. Some people just didn't know what to do at all because they never played DayZ, but they wanted to just see what it was like. And some people already knew how to play DayZ a little bit, and they were shooting everyone else basically and chopping them up and with the new melee. Someone was trying out the gestures.
I didn't want to straighten you up on that, but and, you know, if I don't, someone in the comments will. So I was, but you sorted it out yourself. Well done.
Yes, thank you. And someone pointed a middle finger at me, and I shot him. And he was looking at me like, because I could actually see the person, and I.
So he was sat just down from you.
Yes. So he was like, "Why did you shoot me?" And I was like, "Well, don't put your middle finger up at me." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So he was kind of baffled by that, but it happened.
He was probably just pressing random F function key buttons, and he didn't realise what he was doing.
That's fine. He's dead anyway.
Dirty bandit you are.
It's a little of a hard measure if you think about it, but it happens. Okay. Actually, they also brought me in a small room behind the booth where they had also a computer set up, of where they actually brought people who were in a wheelchair or just content creators or the press, and they could actually play it over there as well while talking to Peter and Eugen, and they gave like a little commentary, and I actually made a video on it, which was like my most successful video after barely a week. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you hit the hype train right at the moment there, didn't you? You came back with the content. You provided people with what they wanted to see, and
yeah, because people were complaining that there was no one there, no one reporting on it, and I got home. I actually delayed my vacation slightly for it because it took so long to actually get the video footage on my computer, which is a really technical story and it's boring, so I won't go into it. But yeah, so I ended up making it real quick, as fast as I could, with just Peter's commentary. You had to listen quite carefully because there was a lot of background noise. But I think people just, they could still hear it. You could still hear most of it, and you could see everything. And yeah, you're right. It's exactly what people wanted to see at that moment, and it went from there. And after that, we went to dinner. It was like an awesome dinner. We had like a like a real big chicken in some steakhouse, which was fun. And
Is this
sorry, this is tracking back. So after Gamescom, we went
so
out
after
to dinner.
Gamescom that Bohemia took you out, did they?
They gathered a couple of people like Minder, Blue and Queenie, um, Merlin from DayZ Underground or Pure Passion.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's also a moderator on Reddit, on the subreddit
Yeah.
of DayZ, and a couple of other guys. And we were just, it was really nice. It was a really crowded place. They also out at Gamescom themselves, they gave me some goodies. We drank some beer in the end, and I went to my car, drove home.
This
And
wasn't after drinking beer though, was it?
no, I actually barely drank. I kind of sacrificed it to be able to go home.
So was it
And
just a day stopover? You didn't stop the night.
no, I didn't stop the night.
You
I
drove there
should
from the morning.
Yes, because I had to go on vacation the next day, so
Oh
I
my
had
God.
no time. So I went to games. I had a half day of work. I went to Gamescom. I went home. I came home at 3. I woke up at 10. I edited the video, and I uploaded it at like 9 p.m. in the evening, and I drove to Paris. That's what happened that day, those 2 days.
Oh dear, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was actually really crazy. I was so tired, but it was also really rewarding because of all the views I was immediately getting on that video. So it felt
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a
I
job
mean,
well
it,
done.
it feels like you've done a good job. I don't know. That's just I wouldn't say that the views were alone were worth the time and effort you put in, but for the fact that you got to go
Immediate
to,
response, that was more
I
it,
think
I
more that you
think.
went to Gamescom, you got to play the latest builds, you got to
Oh,
meet all
yeah.
the devs, and it's the whole package really, and
Yeah,
then the
that's
cherry on
true.
the cake to have the views, because otherwise it makes you sound like you just did it because you wanted to get some views on YouTube, and I know you wouldn't, I know that's not what you mean.
No,
So
that's true. That's true. No, it was just, yeah, it was indeed the whole package, and I was really tired. But and that was just the immediate feedback after all
mm,
the work I did. That's more what I mean.
yeah,
And it was just, yeah, it was surreal. It was 2 days. Really, it felt like more than a week, but it actually all happened within 36 hours or something.
well, it was very strange for me because I mean, prior to the village, which we're going to come to a little bit later on,
Mm,
we probably stay in touch. Oh, server's gone.
yeah.
Um, I'm just pressing my overlay button. I'm not streaming. Um, we probably talk to each other on a not on a daily basis, but certainly within 2 or 3 times a week. And
Mm.
um, I checked my Twitter feed and I'd seen the stuff that was happening at Gamescom, and then I just see René saying I'm at Gamescom, and I'm like Gamescom, and I'm like, what the heck is going on there? He's not said a thing to me. He's normally would be like, oh, I'm going to Games, I'm doing this, I'm really excited. I'm just there, I was like, what the fuck is going on? What are you doing there?
Yeah, that's a little bit my I guess my insecurity going through. So I don't want to be the guy that whines about it on Twitter all week long, and then I end up like something goes wrong and I can't go because I knew the schedule was so tight.
Mm.
So I didn't want to be that guy and then say like, oh, sorry guys, I didn't go. You know,
I'm not some guy on Twitter. You could have told me.
I know. I just, like I said, it's just me. My
No, it's a last minute thing. I understand.
yeah. It
Right,
all it
what's the
all
next? What's the next thing? Go on. Sorry, you're just gonna say.
yeah, no, it was surreal. And after that, like what you wanted to say, we haven't properly. Well, I think the day before Gamescom, we played together, DayZ. I don't remember how it exactly went, but I'm sure we had a lot of fun because we always do.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back from Paris, like the week after, we also played, or didn't
Yeah.
we? Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
we
I
played.
had I had a holiday very similar time to you. So I don't recall the actual dates, but I do know that I haven't spoken to you for a good couple of months.
Well, that's not true because
It's not far from being true.
1.5 months maybe.
Rennie's got a new love in his life, and it's going to come right at the end of this Altarcast. We're building this one up. I said to Rennie, I says, right, we'll
It's
do this
gonna be
Altarcast.
disappointed.
I said, we'll do this Altarcast, but it's not always going to be about the village, you know. We're going to talk about some other stuff, and all we've done is just promoted the fact that the village is coming right at the end. We're going to talk about it.
Well, it just happened to be that way.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember where I was now.
We were talking, that server's back up, by the way. We were talking about goodies. You got as far as that, so how does it feel? That's what we've got next. Did you cover how it felt? No, you didn't. Your experience of the day, and I don't think you actually you sort of said a couple of interactions that you had, but you didn't
Yeah.
give your opinion on it.
So my opinion on it is that it feels very smooth and it felt very surreal. Like I was playing the game like for the first time,
Hmm.
and at the same time, it also felt very similar to what we're playing right now.
Because of course you'll know the surroundings and all the every bump of
Yeah,
the undulations
the
of the terrain
zombies
and
were
the
similar.
houses and yeah.
Yeah, but also the characters they are kind of similar, but at the same time they've been completely revamped. There's a new damage system, there's a new character, there's a new controller. So everything regarding the character has been, there's a new HUD. Everything regarding the character has been changed, and still it felt similar to what we've always been playing. So, and at the same time, it also felt very smooth. So it was a little strange to encounter, I guess, because of that. It felt really similar, though so different. I think that's what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say. And it was awesome to try everything out, but at the same time, it was a little bit too short to really, really get a good feel of it, especially with all the new controls and that kind of stuff. I didn't even know how to reload my gun, how to chamber my gun. after after I don't know how many hours I've played now, 2800 or something. How could you not know how to chamber your gun? It doesn't make sense, does it? So
No, no, I understand. I don't know how I kind of liken it to something in real life. Maybe if your significant other, your girlfriend or your wife had a boob job and went and dyed her hair, and then your experience with her would be quite different. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about, or
I don't know.
like you would know that the feelings would be the same, but the appeal and the look would be different.
I guess so, but it's such a weird comparison.
Okay.
Is that something
That's-
that happened to you? Because you're always talking about
No,
own
I'm
life
talking-
experiences.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Good answer.
Oh, have we finished on that? How it felt for you? Now you got the new boobs and everything.
Well, I think so. I'm really looking forward to how it will feel all together uh, with the new everything. Just really curious to it, and it felt as similar to me as the track IR, because the track IR is a head tracking movement. So you put for the people who don't know it, you put a webcam on your on your monitor, and the sensor on your headset, and it will if you have that, it will notice your head movement, and it will also move your head in the game. And I always said, like, I'm gonna make a review on this when I find out if I like it or not. But I never really got that feeling if I like it or not. So It's
You
and
just said
that
her.
if I like it or not. So
You just sexed the track IR. She was a girl for a minute.
well, I don't know about that, but you know what I mean. It's
I do, yeah, I know what you mean. Go on,
and
sorry.
I have that moment at the moment. I have that feeling at the moment for DayZ 0.63 as well. I don't really know how to feel like what to like about it, but I'm still very, very, very excited about it
Hmm.
because yeah, I don't know. It's a weird feeling, I guess.
Well, I can't come in with anything other than the crap that I've just said. So yeah, I think because I haven't tried it, I didn't.
Are you at
You
a
know,
deer stand?
yeah.
Oh, I see you.
You've
Do you
come
have
to
some
Crescent
food?
Staff.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Because I'm very hungry. We probably need to hit up some apple trees.
It's weird that we didn't actually have anything other than a loose meeting point. René spawned south of Berezino. I spawned north of Berezino. I went Svetlo and across the map and said Rennie didn't get in until I was in Svetlo, so I said, "Well, we'll meet in Krasnostav," and we haven't spoken about where we are on the map since we started
Mm-hmm.
out. Probably what 45 minutes ago. And
Yeah.
we've just found each other without saying anything.
Well, I guess
Ha-
we're very well trained to each other still.
yeah, we know the styles. I've got a pistol here for you if you want to take that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and I also got a couple of goodies from Gamescom. Just wanted to cover that because I know how some people are really into goodies, and I am too. So,
So you got wine,
little
dined, and freebies.
yes. So I entered I entered Gamescom, and like the first thing they gave me was this this bag which is DayZ on it. And in there was a key hanger. How do you say it?
Like what do they call them? They have a special name.
Yeah,
A cord where you can put your key on.
yeah, a key cord, I guess. Also, this like hanger that you can put on your car mirror, which says DayZ. I got some cam lights, which with the DayZ on there, which is funny. Everyone got that one. When you played a session, you kind of got that with you. What did I get more? A sticker, a T-shirt, which basically says like, "In DayZ we trust."
In beta we trust, isn't it? Or was it saying DayZ?
Let me see.
Or was that's the later thing that the hashtag they were coming up with? I thought in beta we trust.
Yeah, it's derived from that. Let me see. Yeah, it says, "In DayZ we trust, support we must." And below that there is like a little bear with a heart on it, which says DayZ.
Hmm.
It's quite nice. I like it. And at the back it says Gamescom 2017. And for the rest, yeah, 2 key cords. That's about it, I think. I quite like it. It was fun.
I don't know if you should tell people about that, Rennie. I think you're going to make people envious. They're going to get press envy.
Well,
No, I mean I'm not knocking it at all. I think if they want to, they gave goodies out to the public, and essentially you're not classed as public, you are classed as press because those people out there that are doing content creation for DayZ, be it through Twitch streaming or through video
mm,
making, fan sites that support DayZ, all these sort of things
mm.
are marketing tools for Bohemia, and people that
Well, to be fair, I'm not the only one who got it, right? It's they at some point they did a community meetup during Gamescom, and everyone who was there at that specific time got one of these bags with content.
yeah.
So it was like I think, whoa! I found 2 CR75s with both mags in the police.
Oh. So you came into this place starving, and then you've gone straight to the police station.
I'm still hungry. Yeah, not used to playing anymore.
It's sort of like a Toby move, that is.
I guess so. I never really do this kind of stuff. Normally, I take really good care of myself.
Yeah, well, you don't have to now. What would you got? The village.
Yeah, they have tons of
Everyone
pumpkins.
provides for you, don't they? There's like barrels full of shit everywhere. Anyway, we're not talking about that. What's the next thing we're talking about? Next recipe.
Recipe. Yeah, so in the status report today,
Why is it called a recipe? A recipe is something that makes something. Why is it?
well, because
Is that your terminology?
no, it says it on the screenshot as well. Next recipe, or what is it called, recipe.
Recipe, yeah.
And it basically means like they use it in stuff like World of Warcraft, right?
Oh, it's when they're combining stuff to make stuff. So
Yes.
that's the yeah. I understand now. Yeah.
So what we can see in the screenshot is a survivor holding a stick, and the stick basically has like a UI interface on it, and it basically says wooden stick, and F to take it, left mouse button to click on the next recipe, and something below it that you can craft a torch from it. So
So essentially, what it's doing is showing what can be done from that singular item,
yes,
rather than having to get that item and another item combined to see what you can do with it. So it's simplifying the whole crafting side of things. That's the idea here.
yeah. So and that kind of means that you don't have to scroll over the item anymore because they are completely like removing the scroll menu, right? But that also means that they're going to remove the uncertainty of what items we can craft or not, which I'm kind of
I
sad
don't
about
think
it.
I don't think just I don't think we even said that this is the status report we're discussing. I think we've just melted straight into it. But that this is where information's coming
Yeah.
from.
Well,
We're covering the status report
yes.
now. So what are you not happy about? Sorry, I jumped all over that. And you're not happy because you think it simplifies things and makes it too easy for people, or what's the
Yes,
problem?
it's partly simplifying, and also, so one thing I don't like about this is that they're kind of simplifying it. So you can't. There's no guess anymore of what you can craft or not. So if there's something that adds to it in your inventory, they will probably show the recipes you can do on it. And on the other side, when they remove the scroll menu, but you still have to left click to go to the next recipe on the item on the ground, which
I think until you start using something like that, it's impossible to say how you feel about the scroll wheel. I mean, it does seem counterintuitive to do that, but surely all they're doing is taking one step out of the what currently happens is if you want to make something, is you go to the DayZ wiki, you make a note of exactly what you need to do, and then you come back out of the DayZ wiki, get tabbed back into your game, and then make what you can make, and then step back out again and back in. Is it not just cutting out that particular process? I
yeah,
mean,
but I never really go to the DayZ wiki. I basically
well, you didn't work these things out yourself,
well, I
surely.
guess I came across it at some point, and some things I figured out myself. Um, but I guess because I've always been involved in DayZ, I kind of followed everything along whenever it came out, right?
Yeah, so a new item comes out that's craftable. It'll come onto Reddit. You'll know how to do it because that's where you've seen it.
Mm.
So I don't know. I think all it's doing is making it easier for those people that don't perhaps follow the game development at such length, and they can use the items that are in the game. I mean, I do see where you're coming from.
Mm.
In real life, there's no recipe that pops up when you hold a stick in your hand. It doesn't say, right, you can make a fucking tent out of this or something, does it?
Mm.
But the flip side is most people perhaps know a lot of that information already in their head. So I don't know. That doesn't bother me too much. I almost like that.
Yeah.
I think, but you're the sort of DayZ player that would prefer there to be almost nothing there, and to be a really hard experience from the minute that you spawn in.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little bit like that. By the way, are you running up to the hill along the main road? Yeah, it's you. I saw. Yeah, I would like to keep everything a little bit more hardcore, but I really liked the fact that you had to go into your inventory and you just drag stuff on other stuff and see if it was craftable. It was also a little bit
Mm.
like common sense, and sometimes you would come across something you've never come across before, like sharpening your axe or something like that. It's like I always liked that kind of stuff. Like if you combine it, it goes orange. If you cannot combine it, it stays blue or whatever it is. Red.
Yeah, I do understand that. I mean, for the first time in game, I actually got a pickaxe and had to go and find a rock because it's more difficult to get a stone knife currently in 0.62. And I'd spawned inland, and someone had suggested to me it might be an idea to get a stone knife, and I'd picked a pickaxe up, and the same person suggested, well, you can actually do this, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm running around trying to find the correct, because you need the correct rock, and yeah, I actually crafted a stone knife that way. So, and things like duct tape to repair certain things, and duct tape with a stick to make a splint.
Yeah.
There are things that are out there that I'm still finding. I don't think there'll be much now that we'll find, but yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, and also they did remove the scroll wheel, but at the moment there is no scroll wheel, but you still have to scroll with it by clicking. That's also something I find a little strange about that. But it's a
There
work.
must be a reason why that's done.
Yeah, of course. It's a work in process as well, right? So it's we'll have to see
It's
how
gonna
it goes. But I just had so many, as you heard, so many thoughts around that specific screenshot that I just wanted to talk about it.
We could just run across the north if you want.
Yeah,
That'd be quite peaceful.
you never know.
Well, you do never know. That's true. I had this encounter. I was streaming, and I met a guy in Electro. We ran through Cherno, did the Nazadino run, came up to Starry. We didn't have hot loot, but we had enough stuff, and I was just checking into Starry from those trees, more or less level with Red Tin, if you like, just next to Gilly tree line.
North?
You know the south, no, the south side we came
I
in.
know what you mean.
And I was checking, and we pretty much said to ourselves there was nothing too interesting happening, and we were playing on Chipotle Bandit server, and they've got a designated PvP zone every week, and it's Novi. So he said, "Let's go to Novi," and I said, "All right then." And I was just starting to move out. He says, "Oh, something's bugged with my game. I need to relog." So I just hit the ground like that, and he crouched right next to me. You may have seen this on Reddit actually, and he said, I've got to relog out, and I says, okay. And just as he said that, some fucking sniper went bang straight into the side of his head.
I actually did see that. Yeah.
Oh dear, it was unbelievable. That's had like 2,000 views. That has that clip. It's
Yeah. I actually normally I kind of dislike watching Twitch clips because it has more to do with how some people clip things, I guess. And also I don't like the playback so much because it freaks out my computer for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a little laggy, and I can't rewind properly. It takes ages to load. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think those clips don't get the bandwidth that they allocate to them that they deserve. And I think because I get that, I get buffering where it shouldn't buffer because
It doesn't make sense.
I think it's no.
So I actually kind of, because of that, I'm reluctant to click on Twitch clips. But I was, at some point there are like these clips, they get upvoted a lot, and I end up clicking on them anyway. And I found out, oh, this is FTs. I was pleasantly surprised because it doesn't say her name initially as well. It just says the clipper. Yeah.
Nah, Molly pulled him up on that.
So that was awesome, though. That's one of a kind scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a similar, like not even similar, but I had an encounter the other day, and I ended up meeting someone on the radio, and we ended up like hunting some deer. We were like doing that. It was in the middle of the night, so we the guy I met, he turned his gas lamp on, and we were trying to find the deer because it was in high grass. We didn't really see it anymore, and we ended up finding it. And suddenly this voice from the darkness, like, "Hello, dudes." It's like, so, so random, someone running up to you.
Well, not on the radio then. It was someone
Yeah, it
actually
was someone
next to you.
actually there. Yeah,
Oh
he
god.
saw the light from the tree line. Apparently, I'm glad he was friendly. These are the things that make DayZ DayZ, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, it's almost like you play to have these encounters happen to you, and when they happen to you, you just think they can't happen anywhere else. You can't get these experiences anywhere else. They are just exclusive to not exclusive to this game, but exclusive to games like this.
Hmm.
And this, in my opinion, is the best game that's like this. So,
Oh yeah, of course I agree.
mm.
So in 0.63 in the status report, they also talked about modding again, and pretty extensively this time.
Yeah, the 0.63 status report with I really did like the way the enthusiasm that Brian had in that for the modding aspect.
Yeah. Well,
It did take me back. It took me right the way back from because the initial experience of DayZ when it came out as a mod, that sort of changed the way I viewed games and played games. And then you had people bringing out mods of a mod, and it just sort of took me back to that sort of time. I know DayZ's a standalone on its own, but there's soon going to be mods, and you may get to that position where someone brings out a mod that's that popular that someone may start doing mods for that mod. It's just I don't know. It's crazy, but it is. It's gonna be a wonderful time.
yeah. Yeah, what did he say? He was like, he's gonna spend like so many hours. I don't know his exact quote, but so many hours.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys are going to create. I'm going to stack up on snacks and get no sleep or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and he's really like that. He can really get into these kind of games and mods. I think he was responsible himself for Taviana and obviously the Survivor games.
Yeah, Taviana, which possibly was one of the most popular maps
Hmm.
outside of Chinaris. I say possibly, Namalsk was really popular as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with Taviana, it spawned other things. It didn't, Namalsk was Namalsk. It didn't really. You went on there, you tried to survive, it got cold, and then you died. But Taviana, it spawned mods within it, and oh, it was just, I don't know. It's the thing that progressed or not progressed. It allowed me to continue playing the mod, and I've covered this before, but
Hmm.
it prolonged. That's the word. Prolonged the life of the mod for me when the map started coming out. So currently, I don't find DayZ at a point where I want to, I want to stop playing it. That did happen to me in the mod because it came to its natural end. The development of it was stopped because they realised that what they got hold of was something that they had to market properly and make a full game of. So they stopped developing on it, but the modders didn't. That's what just drew it out to the point where the standalone was released.
Hmm.
So you've got this game, the standalone, that is going to have the latest patch, the 0.63 patch, come out, which is going to completely change the way the game plays, the way the game feels. The whole thing is going to be different. That's something to look forward to. But beyond that, you've then got beta release is going to be the point where they allow the server files to be open and people to mod. Now, the modding tools aren't going to be ready immediately, but the possibilities are just it is very mouth watering, I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, you can change like everything because the thing that is taking them so long is that they kind of made it scripted in a way that they scripted everything. Everything is built around the script engine. So every movement you make, you can kind of change and bend, like they said it in the status report. I think that's
And actually change animations, and you can change. Whereas
yeah.
before it was quite limited with what you could do.
Mm.
Now it's not. So if the people that came out with the mods before came out with dynamic stuff, then well,
It's gonna be even more
you can only
dynamic.
yeah, the stuff is just going to be epic.
Yeah, pick.
And that's what again will prolong the life of the standalone. Even though the 0.63 isn't the final release,
Mm.
the 0.63 should allow the release of a whole raft of stuff that's going to be available. So, I once a month, once every 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. Patch updates would be lovely.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think with regards to what I know we're looking into the future here, but we're not that far. We're in halfway through October. It's touted as being December, Christmas, possible Christmas release. It's only a couple of months away. Once they've put that beta release out, what what would you hope for with regards to the rollout beyond that?
Yeah, I hope on faster iterations than they have been doing right now, because I think that's something that DayZ needs a lot of, because the DayZ patches from DayZ mod, they breathed a new life in DayZ mod every time. But not only that, also all the mods in there. And that's the same thing is going to happen with DayZ standalone. It will obviously bring a lot of older players back. It will generate a lot of excitement for the new things. I think communities gonna have like a friendly battle of having the most mods on on their servers and that kind of stuff. And I think it's gonna change things a lot with the pace of things. I'm just hoping that we are getting a more hardcore experience by it as well.
Well, that's the beauty, though. I mean, you can't cater for everyone whilst keeping it as hardcore as you want.
Oh yeah,
because it just doesn't work. So the DayZ 2020, was it 2017 or 20? I don't know. There was DayZ that was really
2017. Yeah,
which is
that was actually
kind of ironic.
Yeah, they actually there's like a whole story about that, and I played that once, and it was like one of my. I still recite a story sometimes. I probably have already recited it on here. The fact that I had to eat like humans that already passed away by starvation, that were just randomly lying on the ground, and I actually I got sick of it, but the meat would also give me back some of my health. So it was like a vicious cycle of me chopping up human bodies and just eat them because I had no other choice.
Well, there'll be mods that will cater for that. I mean, the only downside that I can foresee is that, or possible downside is that if they release the server files and they release the modding tools and there are some very talented people out there, you wouldn't want the them to be the modders, that is, to be able to release stuff that essentially the dev team themselves should be doing. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't want a mod to suddenly say a popular mod to suddenly be the focus when the game isn't actually fully released. That's the only danger I can see of releasing the modding tools prior to the actual final release of the game. So they get to the point where the game's completed and someone's come up with an absolutely kick-ass mod that everyone's playing. You've got 100,000 people playing this particular mod and 4,000 people still stuck with a vanilla.
Yeah, but that is what's going to happen.
No, it shouldn't happen. If the beta patches keep on coming, if they keep on coming every couple of weeks and reinvigorating the vanilla experience, then it shouldn't happen, because they've got a team doing that. They're not just these guys that are doing the modding. They're talented individuals as a rule. If you take away from some of the more organized ones, like I suppose Breaking Point would be a good example when it got into its full flow.
Yeah.
This topic's not even on the notes, people. I'm telling you, we've worked a good one there.
I think so.
What's the next thing on the notes?
Well, the only thing that we forgot to mention, I guess, is that there will be a slight delay in releasing the modding. It won't release immediately when 0.63 will hit.
See, maybe that's planned.
Yeah, they were very careful to say If you read between the lines, that it will release during beta, and
Mm.
and not and not at the start of beta, and that's something that's very specific because they don't really call that out, but they're saying it at the same time, but they're not very clear about that. And I think some people might not get that when reading the status reports. So that's why I'm saying it.
Well, it would counter that possibility that I just came up with, I suppose. If they don't release the ability to do the modding until they've fleshed out the beta quite a bit,
Yeah.
and it makes sense. It makes sense in a number of ways. If the beta is further down the line and more complete, then surely it makes the experience of modding it better because they're working off a more complete beta. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense, really. But I know there's a lot of people out there want to get their hands on it. So.
Oh yeah, of course. It's going to happen, but not at the start, I think. So because they're wording that so specifically, I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, so to get back on 0.63 again, which we're basically covering like almost solely right now, is actually melee, well, encounters as a whole. Because the main thing that I kind of took away from playing it is that it's gonna be, because of the stamina bar, it's gonna be a lot slower than we've been playing right now. So the sprinting in the beta is actually slower than we're running right now, and that's kind of odd in a way. But in the end, it makes sense because we've been running too fast all along, I think. But that kind of means that it's gonna slow you down a lot. So running back to a fight, won't really be an option, and you're gonna have to be way more careful when going into a fight, because you can't just when you're in the south tree line of Starry Sobor, you can't just under shots at the tents in Starry
Dive
Sobor.
straight across.
You can't just run straight across. Yeah, it's impossible. So you really need to plan more carefully and be more systematic about things like reloading your guns and that kind of stuff. I think that's a very big change that's going to happen.
It's going to alter the way the game plays, the game feels. But is it going to alter the fluidity of and fast action paced PvP that you can get? Is that going to we won't know until we've tried it, but it may need tweaking. It may be that the map is just too big to have this stamina system that punishes you so much. I mean, I don't know. It's impossible to say until you try it, but I know that currently it can be a little bit tiresome getting from one side of the map to the other. But of course, that's because there's very little interaction in between. If you like the run we're doing the run across the north of the map. We're unlikely to come across anyone until we get to a very populated. We're in Severograd, so there's a chance now, or to a military place. Now, getting to those is going to be more difficult. But the flip side is that there's going to be more people on the server, and they're all going to be running at this pace. So everyone's going to be slowed down. The theory being that should mean more people will be in the coastal towns and the towns as you work in. That's kind of the way I'm reading it, but that's the theory. Whether or not it plays out, I mean, it's certainly going to make you think twice, perhaps, about doing the things that you said, running across an open field.
Yeah, I can lower my weapon.
Put your weapon away and punch.
It's fixed. Thank you. I didn't know the fix for this. I always just tried random things. It's good to know the fix.
The fix is to punch normally, but sometimes you have to go prone as well. So
okay. Yeah, about punching. I guess the new melee combat is also being heavily discussed in the latest status report. That they're gonna add like finishing moves, kicks, and pushes, and they're also gonna work on blocking mechanism and that kind of stuff. What do you think about that? Isn't that going to be too advanced?
But I don't think it needs to go too far, but I think it needs something that's far more advanced than currently is there, because there are those people out there that have worked out how to use a stick and or use a, a stone in their hands or
Mm.
a can of beans or whatever, and they've become ridiculously powerful. A person that springs to mind is Smoke. He can he can disarm someone with an automatic weapon, and I mean, he's exceptionally good at PvP anyway. But I think currently the melee system favors those that are very good at it, and it doesn't favor. Are you shooting?
Yeah, it's just zombies.
Scaring me.
Sorry.
The same thing will happen if they make it advanced. The people that put the time in and learn how to do it will benefit, I suppose. I don't know.
Mm.
Never have been a big fan of the melee system, and I don't know. It certainly needs improving, but you need hands on with that sort of thing before you can have an opinion. I think.
Mm. Well, it's gonna make sense. It makes sense that they make it skill based, like right, like the whole of DayZ is right now, and not really. At the moment, you just keep bashing someone until they pass out, basically. And some people have kind of worked a way around how they can do it best, but it's
Hmm.
still not really like a good chance of how it should be. It's like it's people are saying it's like chance, and people are saying like this is desync, and how can he just hit me with that? I hit him 5 times, and why isn't he down? And that all that kind of complaints are going around now, and I just hope they make it more clear of who is actually winning a fight or who is going to win a fight or that kind of stuff.
I think currently it in close quarters is pretty. It's knackered. It's if you're on a server that is not responding correctly, you can and again we've covered this before, and
Mm.
it's almost the Achilles heel of DayZ is that it what's happening on your screen is not what's happening on someone else's screen. They shoot you, or let's say for instance I shoot someone, they should fall down but they don't, and on their screen perhaps the same thing's happening, and the two clients aren't matched up, and I don't see how that's going to how they can work a decent melee system into that shit show, if you like. They've got to sort that side of things out before you can even attempt to do anything with regards to melee. So
Mm-hmm.
if they sort that side of things out, then no, let's say when they sort that side of things out, then I think melee will become something that's usable. But
Yeah.
it's only going to be a very small aspect of the game. I don't. I'd almost say prefer to say just just put the very basics in. Put a couple of moves in. Put a couple of blocks in. None of this finish him Hadouken fucking shit. I just you know
Rip
keep it quite
someone's head
basic.
off.
There's a V3S here.
Ah, is it drivable? I
No.
don't think so. Yeah, I just hope that if they're going to add like finishing moves or something like that, I hope they're not gonna lock you in place with doing that kind of stuff, because that would be really silly if you can't do anything about it. I'm sure they won't, but I
What do
hope
you
they
mean?
won't.
Like a scripted finishing move?
Yeah, something
Well,
like
that's what they're kind
I
of moving
just
away from with the player controller, though, isn't it? They want everything to be a breakable action.
yeah, you're right. I just don't have any other idea of a finishing move, I guess. It's always something that I often see on controllers. It's like on consoles, you hit a button and it goes into like an action. And sometimes in the stupid games, the character even moves in the right direction, like faces which are back with their backs towards you, so you can do the finishing move. But yeah,
Everything goes slow mo.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean.
Mm.
And I just really hope it's not going to be something like that. But we'll see. I'm sure, like we said many times, I think we both trust the DayZ developers, so I'm sure they make the right move. And even if we don't like something, I'm sure we'll get used to it. And I'm sometimes like that. Like sometimes I don't like stuff, Like, I remember that we were talking about that they suddenly like added like all the military checkpoints in the game, right?
Mm.
I told you like I don't know if I like this. I think he even said this in Altarcast.
Yeah.
I really don't know if I'm gonna like this. And even weeks after, I still said the same thing because I just literally don't really know. But at the moment, I don't know any better. So and it would be killing me if they would get rid of it now. That would be really silly because I was afraid everything would get too militarized. But I guess they don't put too many guns in there anyway.
No,
So
the central loot economy has dealt with that quite well.
yeah.
It does needs tweaking because on the coast you don't need butt stocks for M4s or whatever the useless stuff that spawns there.
Mm-hmm.
So that side of things needs tweaking. But yeah, I don't know. Like you say, we've got to in DayZ we trust. Melee can get fucked. That's the next thing they need to do on a little keychain.
I guess so. And the latest thing in the status report, I guess, is that they are reworking the car mechanics and the behavior. So at the moment, they showed a funny GIF of a car driving across some bumps on the airfield, I believe. Well, it wasn't the airfield; it was like
Their test bed, I think,
their
isn't it? It's
test,
just
yeah, test map. And there was actually it was so funny because you saw the survivor walking outside the car while the car drove along basically.
mm,
And it was you could really see the car like bumping and that kind of stuff. It looked really good, but I have the feeling that's already in the game right now, at least an early version of it. But it's good that they're completely revamping the vehicles because it's well, at the moment it's not good, is it?
no. They need the work definitely. I mean, I don't know. I don't really understand. I suppose they put that in for the comedy value. There was no other than seeing the sort of suspension moving around a little bit. I mean, for me, for something like that, you you probably would have just been better showing the vehicle doing what it was doing and not having the character just stupidly stood there. But or show it when you've got the character inside and show how it feels with the new suspension system, so it feels a bit bumpier inside the car. Because currently, when you drive, you don't really get any feedback through the car.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the cars, it's something they have to do with the new patch, right? They, they have to bring a solid difference to the controls and to the cars and to the vehicles in general, and just make sure it's relatively bug free before they move on. All right. Next topic is YouTube demonetizing and YouTube sponsorship. Actually, something you put on the table. Obviously, it has been quite a big problem for some people.
Yeah, I mean, whilst it's not a specific DayZ subject, it's a subject quite close to the hearts of a lot of people that are providing content, and
Yeah.
maybe a lot of the listeners are, I mean, the thing is, YouTube already throttle any sort of income from smaller content providers by giving such a very small percentage out in their ad revenue.
Hmm.
So to actually impact on it even more just because you say fuck. I I mean, I wasn't too aware of this. I'd seen people mention it. It hadn't affected me, so therefore I didn't really look into it. And then all of a sudden they they mentioned they sent well, they didn't send an email. They put a message onto the YouTube page saying that a lot of content now is is going to be shown up as not suitable for ads, not suitable for most advertisers, and therefore will have very few ads running. And I looked down my list of videos, and it affected every single live stream that I'd done, and probably half of my videos. So I clicked on one of the videos
Hmm.
and I opened it up and I thought, well, what? Let me just read into why this is happening. And I looked at the reasons behind it, and it was down to the swearing essentially. within the content. And so I opened up a random video, and within the first 5 seconds, you'd said fuck, and then within 25 seconds, Toby had said fuck, I'm being shot, shit, fuck. I thought, oh dear, that's not great. And then within 30 seconds, no, within a minute, I absolutely screamed fucking shit like that. I thought, oh, okay, that video I can understand that. But then I opened other ones, and like there was no reason for it. There was the odd swear word here and there, and we're all big boys. If they want to put an age category on YouTube and demonetize for that purpose, then fair enough. But I don't know. I just think it's. I think it's a bit unfair.
Yeah, is the live streams, they aren't public available, right? They're unlisted.
Mm-hmm.
I think that also partly might be a reason for the live streams not being monetized.
Oh well, I could look at that because some of mine I did list. So
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but that was just a thought I had. But also, when going back, I had several videos indeed that were demonetized. And I'm like, some of them, they have more views than the others. But it's just, it's extremely frustrating if you have a video that is rapidly getting views and that you can't do anything about because it needs 1,000 views before YouTube will actually go check it. And and that's very silly because my videos they get like 4,000 views if I'm lucky at the moment. So it's it's a little frustrating because that means you lose like 1/4 and probably half of the revenue that you could have earned with it. On the other hand, they're not saying to us that they removed all advertising, but they keep the reasoning like vague. So it could be that, that they're still running 90% of their ads on our videos. But that's just something that we don't really know.
Yeah, until you've looked at the figures. And I mean, let's get this completely clear. My revenue from YouTube advertising is tiny. When I say tiny, I would need to have 10,000 views to earn £10.
Yeah.
And now, based on the new rules that are brought in, I can just essentially write off any sort of money that they're likely to give me, because it's just, if they're not, if what I believe is happening, they're not going to be running ads, and those 10,000 views will probably net me 50p. So I don't know. As I say, it's not a massive thing in the bigger scheme of things. It's not too DayZ related, but I did feel it was worth just bringing up for that purpose. And again, on the flip side, they have actually brought out sponsorship. It's sort of indirect competition to Twitch. It's a form of subscription that's available to. I don't know who it's available to. Who's it available to?
For gamers at the moment.
So if you live stream.
No, yeah, it's only available on the gaming page. So gaming.youtube.com/ and then the URL, the ID or custom URL for your favorite creator. Yeah, it's actually similar to Twitch. You have to have at least 2 patrons. No, sorry, I'm mixing things up. 2 sponsors to actually get an emoticon you can add to the chat. So they have actually very similar rewards as Twitch has at the moment. I don't think they have any tiers, like for being a subscriber longer or not, or I mean a sponsor for longer or not. But yeah, it's also, I mean, I turned it on, but I haven't actively like promoted it or anything. But it's something that I'm very curious to see how that will work out. And it was just it launched just after I released well, after I created a Patreon page. So it was kind of, I probably wouldn't have created a Patreon page if I knew the sponsorship would come out earlier.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, it's all right. I'm just gonna run it both and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And now the long-awaited topic, the DayZ Village.
Come on, spill the beans. There's been people waiting for like an hour and however long we've rattled on. They've only come for one thing, and that's the village. You've been teasing them all night with the village.
Well,
I think
partly.
if YouTube demonetized based on the word the village, we would be in minus figures now.
Well, I think because you started saying fuck, it will already be demonetized.
Ah, fuck them.
Yeah, so the village is an event I started. And the event I started is about, really simple actually. Everyone who wants to can build and maintain a village together with me. And it became so, well, popular, like I don't even understand. But, a lot of people, after 10 days, the village was still standing. And everyone, I get a lot of messages of people like, the village is the best thing that ever happened to me. And I started playing DayZ again because of it, and that kind of stuff. And that's not just one case, not 5 cases, but I think I had like over 20 people privately messaging me and adding me to Steam, and many more of them. I think the first week, it doesn't even make sense. It was like beyond my ability to understand how popular this had become. It became way bigger than just my event. So Spaggy is the host of the village, and he actually decided like, okay, René, it's up to you. What do you want to do? You want to keep the server online or not? And I said, well, yes, we should keep it online. And
the event was supposed to last for 10 days. It spawned. It has since spawned its own website, its own Twitter, its own following. It's changed people's lives, apparently, according to you just there. René is now the new savior, and he's got his own little catchphrase. What's your catchphrase? Come on, tell me. What's your catchphrase?
How did you find out about it?
What? Catchphrase?
Yes.
There's all these people with it tattooed on their arms and like on their breasts and everywhere. It's like
that's not true.
Keep on surviving. It's like it hashtagged on Twitter at one point. I think it was like in the top 10. It didn't.
That's
but
not
anyway.
True. But yes, keep on surviving. That's what I started exiting my videos with, and it's I guess it got on because people started using it as well.
So yeah, the event was supposed to be 10 days, and because it was so popular, the server was, as we spoke earlier about, you could see upward of 20-30 people waiting to queue to get on it, and it was just a progression thing, really. It had to be continued, otherwise the women and children would be out in the streets.
Riot.
There would be riots.
Riots in Chernobyl.
Spaggy's name would be chanted. They would be saying, "How can we survive? We've got no home to survive on. You've taken our lives, but you've not given us our children, René." All that sort of stuff would be happening, and then, but no, it's yeah. So, yeah, that's what I was going to say. So it's going to continue. It does really naturally lead on to the final question, which is, will it continue? But we'll come to that in a minute. The other one is, but the whole concept is to have a village. I mean, I know from watching certain.
What did you hear about it?
Bits of footage. Well, I is that you shooting?
Yeah.
It's okay then. I personally haven't been on the village, but I have seen footage of people going to the village and wanted to rampage the video. What I found rather rather amusing, if you like, is the most happy, passive, not always passive until agitated, easygoing DayZ player you could ever imagine. Spawned an absolute animal in regards to PvP, to backstabbing, to atrocities. And I found that rather amusing. That I just thought that, you believed in the people, you put your trust in the people, you wanted them to come out and make this village and it be a nice, happy, lovely place.
Yeah.
And then DayZ fucked on you, and people fucked on you because, people fucked on you because DayZ allowed them to. And that, it just put a big smile on my face. I thought, oh, that's just great. But you have to have these people. You have to have these, and that's what makes DayZ so great. Is you have to have the people that come along and be the dickheads and try and ruin stuff. Because if you don't, that village project would just fall flat on its arse, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, there is a balance in everything, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if the balance tips too far one way or the other, then you are ending up with people growing pumpkins and doing nothing else, or you end up with people just killing the whole job and overthrowing and there not being a purpose for the village. So yes, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, and that's it has been a little tricky. It has gone better than I would ever expect it, and obviously because of the following, it is more than a success. I think it's awesome that everyone like showed up, and that's why I've been so busy lately, because people asking me questions, and I got to be at the village, and
3 months.
Things,
that's how long. 3 months he hadn't spoke to me.
Things with the
Sorry,
website. That's not 3 months. But yeah, and it's just, whoa! You locked a zombie in the police station.
Yeah, up the top there, he got
Yeah, it scared me, as you heard. Yeah, so that's the thing, and the village is still standing today, which, to my surprise, because I expected it to go on a rampage after day one, but my belief was, and still is, that if there are enough people willing to fight the good fight, the village will stand. And I think that's what's cool about it. And it was literally me falling into all sorts of traps. At first, there were like no rules at all in the village. It was like everyone could be happy and get their guns out. But at some point, it just became apparent that people just would come in and hi.
We're laughing because I was just sort of overwatching the town, and I heard some footsteps and assumed it was René, and René came up into the same building as I'm in, and in game we waved at each other.
As I said, people were coming into the village.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's become. It started out as something that was
More of an experiment.
yeah, and it was perhaps based around your popularity within the community and your whole play style within DayZ, and it's become something that's greater than that now. It will survive beyond your input on the server. Obviously there's the backroom stuff, there's the website, there's the Twitter feed, and there's all the other stuff that goes with that, and the videos that will come from your experiences playing on the village. But it essentially now has become a server that's still very popular, still has a queue to get on, and people are still enjoying the experience. So it's almost like a DayZ Underground server, but with perhaps deeper set factions, and maybe like not like the Jensen Novo, but similar to the Jensen Novo, in that they have an area to converge upon Novo, but you don't have the rule within there that you can't shoot and you get banned on the server. So the rules are, it's sort of, it's almost like a mixture of the two, because you've got a lot of factions going on there now, and you've got players that want to play to sustain the village. You've got people that want to overthrow it. So yeah. I mean, like I said to you personally, I don't play on the village. It's not an experience that's for me. The first person aspect I could work around for a short periods of playtime, so I could play an hour, maybe 2 hours on it if I felt that was something that I wanted to play. But I
Mm.
don't really like the role play aspect of DayZ. I don't like any forced rules, and I don't like a non-organic feeling to the game, which I feel that the village brings by virtue of the fact that there are the rules of no direct comms. You've got set factions, you've got role play aspects within there, and it's
Yeah, but that's more because people are doing it themselves. It's not
yeah.
because.
I know it's natural role play, but it's still forced because the server has brought that upon them. It's not like they're just
So
running.
it's more.
Well, it has because they're playing within a faction. That's much of the same reason why I wouldn't play on DayZ Underground, and I don't
Mm.
want to meet a bunch of blokes with a blue hats or wearing a certain uniform and acting out a role. I much prefer to meet a bloke in DayZ that's playing on a open server that has
Mm.
assumed this persona that I meet organically in the game, and if he wants to behave like that, then fair enough. But I know that if I play on the village, then it's going to happen way more often. And I just find that sort of level of role play, I'm not good at it, so I can't
Mm.
interact and do it. So it doesn't feel like it's for me. And I don't like I don't like going to any events that people organise for much the same reason. I just don't feel
Mm.
like you're playing DayZ. So um, that's my take on it. I wish you
Mm.
every success in it, and I know I've taken the piss about it tonight, but in a way that it's a leg pull. It's nothing more than that. So
Yeah, I know who you are, and I know you don't like. I didn't expect you. I didn't ask you to to come and play on the server because I just knew you wouldn't be up for it.
mm,
Um, I would have been happily surprised if you showed up one day, though. But yeah, maybe one day we can go together to the village, just to let me show it to you, and after that, that will be it. If you're up for that.
yeah, I mean, you could do that. We could have a wander around. I was gonna say on a time when there's not many people on, but that doesn't happen very often.
No, no, that's a thing. Yeah, I'm just really surprised that it's still going, and we're still thinking about how, because it's more than me. There's like a whole staff behind it now. It's like I made people moderators, and we created guards and that kind of stuff, and it's kind of fun to see everything grow because. Initially, for example, I didn't really want any guards. I was like, come on, we don't need guards, people can behave, but at some point I was kind of forced to get guards.
Mm,
So not my guards, but the village guards.
yeah.
That some people sometimes, at some point, people were suggesting to me like, René, dude, you really need to get yourself some bodyguards. I'm like, I don't want bodyguards. Just let it
Mm,
be. I just want to be me, and I'll just go with it. And that's what I've been doing, right? And now I made the first episode of the village, and many more to come.
good. I think we covered the village, didn't we?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Where are
Any
you?
more? Any more you want to? Where am I?
Yeah.
Did you say? I'm just running backwards and forwards in this town.
Oh, okay. I ran towards the train line, and I'm waiting here
Oh
for
yeah,
you. I
there's.
have a backpack for you. So we're out of topics.
Mm, just as well. We've been going for about 2 hours.
I guess so. What's the next destination?
I suppose the Northwest Airfield where we are, or
Mm.
Tizzy. I don't fancy Tizzy.
No, me neither. It's also late for me. I have to work tomorrow. So let's
Yeah,
go to the airfield.
yeah, okay. Is this the bit where we tease the punters and
Mm.
say, "Will we survive?" Oh no, we can
Will.
say, We can't say keep on surviving. You've got to say
Let's
that.
try to keep on surviving.